tuck, it is now a
Knife tuck.
knife pleat. All right. Now there are a lot of different types of pleatings. This is your most basic. The knife pleat is called your most basic. But you also learned about box pleat, or box tuck, and inverted box tuck. So you have your box tuck here. And from the outside, it looks like this would be a box pleat. When I turn it inside out, I can see, no, this is an inverted box pleat, because when it comes to a box, it has to kiss, right? They have to kiss. Well, the kissing is here, not in the middle here. So this is an inverted box pleat. Following me? All right. Now there's a lot of pleating. You have knife pleat, box pleat, inverted box pleat, mushroom pleating, broomstick pleating, Egyptian. It just goes on and on and on and on. All right, now, when it comes to pleating, there are a lot of designers that work with pleating, but there is a particularly famous, long-standing designer who built her entire livelihood and her entire company on pleats. Who am I talking about?
Chanel?
Chanel did not do pleats.
I'm guessing. I'm used
It's
to
what you're
leading us
doing,
out
you're
of you.
guessing. No? All right.
Give us another hint.
She's very, very powerful. She's a very powerful woman in the United States. She has been the president of the Color Association for the United States for decades. She runs with the colors that we're going to see 5 years from now. She is that deeply in charge. So she's, believe it or not, there are a couple of people that are just about as old as me, and she's just a little bit older. All right, she's a very striking woman. She has very striking features, black hair, page boy, married a trophy husband, 15 years younger. And I'm talking about, yeah, huh? No. She 15, they're still married. I mean, and I'm talking trophy husband. This man is soap opera gorgeous.
What? Okay, now I don't know for sure.
Well,
I think I know what you're talking about, but
well,
Yes.
Donna
If you think.
Karen?
Just guess.
this is one of her gowns.
yeah.
Now give me a clue. It's a woman, so it wouldn't be a man. This is one of her. This is one of her things. All right, guys. Extra credit. Who is Mary McFadden?
Mary McFadden.
I want you to look it up. We have a lot of her clothes. You're actually going to see another dress. This is one of her dresses.
That's kind of a big word.
Who is Mary McFadden?
I don't know.
Okay, this is a part I have to do. Ooh. Well, that's cute.
This is Bill Blass. It is an amazing piece.
It really
Absolutely
is.
striking. Absolutely amazing piece.
It's so gorgeous.
And when I bought it, the store that I bought it had no idea. They just thought it was butt ugly.
Really?
Seriously.
It's so cute. It's so retro.
These are
Those are shank
shank
buttons.
buttons. All right. All right. This is another type of pleating. What does it resemble?
Accordion fan.
This is accordion pleating because it looks like an accordion. You have the same thing right here.
Ooh, that is so cute.
This is Ann Taylor. We have the same thing right here.
And Taylor's so cute.
Now, this starts out as an accordion pleat, and an accordion pleat, like a regular accordion, would have the same amount from top to bottom. In this case, it's narrower at the bottom, or wider at the bottom and narrower at the top. So it is no longer an accordion pleat. It starts out as an accordion, but when it is an accordion standing up like this, but it is narrower, if we were to lay it out, it would make a circle. This is called a sunburst pleat because it makes a circle.
Like a circle as in like the
as
whole
in
way around?
As in
Okay.
round. No, if we took it apart,
Oh, okay.
it would lay. Now, this is an accordion pleat, this is a sunburst pleat. Now, if I had taken this knife pleat and done exactly the same thing, instead of it standing up, knife pleats lay down. Well, this can't be a sunburst pleat because this is a knife pleat. Narrower at the top, wider at the bottom. This becomes a starburst pleat.
Wow. Oh.
Okay? Now, when it comes to pleating, pleating is done through a mechanical process. And what happens is we take the fabric, it's layered onto a grid, a metal grid. It's sent out to a specialty house. Specialty houses, these houses only do pleating, and they do all of these different types of pleatings. But it's laid on the grid, a piece of rice paper is put down against the metal to prevent it from burning. The fabric is laid on top, another layer is put on top, and then it's sent into a thing called a steam table. Now with that steam table, that live, hot, active steam alters the construction of the weave, of the fiber. Because when it comes out, it has to be permanently done. And in order to do that, we have to alter the physical structure of the fibers. Then when it comes out, it's cooled down, the papers are pulled apart, and it's pressed in the correct direction. So from that, then we're going to talk about the way this is constructed, the way this garment is constructed. But I would like our guest to talk about the chemical processing, which is part of her specialty in fabric. She knows a lot, and she knows everything there is to know about fabric. And I'm sorry, Armine. She is one of our candidates for professor here at Columbia. So I would like her to talk about the chemical composition and what she knows about working with the structures of fabric. Okay.
Hello, everyone. It's very great. It's great to be here. I like to meet you and with the student population, basically at Columbia. And I definitely don't know everything about the physical composition of materials, but I know some things. And so you probably, I don't know what you have learned before about textiles. I'm assuming you know about fibers, characteristics, staple fibers, right, filaments, and then cellulosic fibers, right, synthetics. You've learned about us. So
Everybody here has taken textiles already?
Mhm.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Some of them have, some of them haven't. So this, for some of them, this is an introduction to them.
okay. So based on the fiber characteristics, and I don't know the pleating process.
Yeah, that's
I know
okay.
it's said, but basically the heat that is applied to the fabric to change its properties so it stays pleated. What needs to be considered is the chemical structure of the fibers used in the fabric. So if it's cellulosic fiber, different fibers have different thermoplastic or melting, right, capacities. Some will burn, you know, from your textile classes if you have taken it. Some fabrics will burn. For example, cotton, right, cellulosic, they will burn if you introduce it to fire, not fiber. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. But others, like synthetics, polyester, right, they will melt. So I think special, based on the knowledge we have about fiber characteristics, special care should be taken, I'm assuming, when doing the pleating, because you can easily melt your fabric if it's too much heat is applied, or you can burn your fabric. So it's very important to know what your fabric is made of before you do pleating. Testing should be done probably. I'm assuming in big companies who specialize in pleating, they have probably, again, assumption, but that's how I see a business operating. They will probably have libraries of fabrics with all their characteristics, you know, melting points, and everything related to fiber, so they can pull it out whenever they have fabric to work with, and use and adjust their temperature settings, everything that goes into the machine before.
Yes, and actually what you're talking about now is something that I would have gone into, and what she's saying is absolutely right. Anytime I send fabric for pleating, I will send a certain amount, several yards to the house. They will cut it in pieces, and they will test it according to the time. Remember when we did fusing? It was time, temperature, pressure. Same thing here. It is time, and especially time and temperature, because the more delicate the fabric, you can't use as long of a time, and you can't use as hot of a temperature. You have to adjust it according to exactly what she was saying. So that's absolutely perfect. It's a good introduction for what I was going to talk about.
And then just from experience, it wasn't pleating that I worked on. I have the special cellulosic material that I work on for my dissertation, and then part of it, like an experimentation, I had to apply, PLA yarn. I don't know if you've taken textiles, it's probably in there. It's a kind of a new synthetic material that is developed through from plants, corn. For example, if you eat salads, some containers, they say they are made from plant-based plastics, environmentally friendly and sustainable material. So I was applying PLA material, kind of I had very thin layers of non-woven fiber mats, and I had to melt it on the cellulosic material that I have. As you know, cellulose will burn. PLA as a synthetic had higher melt points, so I had to test constantly in the hot press. So I put cellulose, I put a synthetic material on it, and then I press it with between two very hot